shifts that you'd see somebody have like once in every 20 years are happening like every month for people. We're in a different time now.
The world is changing and it's speeding up. When you're walking around in this world, it starts to feel like you're alone anyway. Like you can't relate to anybody. I call upon you to find community where you can find like minds that share in your experience. They are out there. Don't do this alone.
It's a crazy time right now. It's an amazing time, but there's so much hypnosis out there.
It's scary. Like it feels like the world's gonna end. Like there's gonna be terrible things happening. But if you're tuned into this energy, it doesn't matter, because within our bubble of reality, a new earth is forming and everything's gonna be working to your advantage. And we're seeing a result of our thoughts becoming things faster and faster and faster. We see chaos in the world because we're starting to see the truth of what's happening. What we're seeing, it feels like everything's going to hell. But part of that is what we're seeing is the truth come out. We're seeing that the stuff that's been behind the scenes all this time come out. Get outside of your apartment or room and come and join the New Earth shift. That's what I'm calling on. Welcome to the Reality Revolution. It is a glorious day because I get to spend some time with my brother, Kyle Boyd of the Heart Coherence Collaborative. And we wanted to sit and discuss what we've been seeing in different spiritual communities. Kyle hosts a school community. I host a school community. We've been really working with a lot of people and seeing some incredible shifts and some real evidence that the New Earth is coming about. So much so that when we were just talking, we decided we wanted to bring this and really discuss what we've been seeing. And we're going to be hosting an event in Hawaii. We wanted to discuss that. So welcome back, Kyle. What's up, brother?
It's a pleasure to be here, man. Yeah, and since our last event that we held together in California, I have noticed so many shifts in my own life, massive shifts in my friends' lives. I'm talking like, shifts that you'd see somebody have like once in every 20 years are happening like every month for people. It just seems like we're in a different time now.
Right.
It's pretty intense.
And I'm noticing that people that are already shifted, experiencing additional layers of this shift. What I'm experiencing, working with other people that are awakened, conscious beings that are focused on their spirituality, they're trying to manifest their dreams, serve others, are experiencing slow revelations about the environment around them. The world is changing and it's speeding up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and it's not necessarily always easy, but a lot of people are letting go of a lot of things. And it's been really cool to have community around me and to see all these things that are happening, all these, massive shifts that are going on in people, but to be there with each other as it's happening, to kind of like hold the footing, it has really helped me, because I feel like without community during this time, I would be so lost.
I think the number one thing that people need to know is there are groups available that you can join that'll help you out. And it's so easy to just sit back and be on your own and think that you can do this on your own. You're going to meditate on your own. And it's natural as you awaken, and everybody sort of feels like NPCs. That when you're walking around in this world, it starts to feel like you're alone anyway. Like you can't relate to anybody. Yeah. And so I call upon you to find community where you can find like minds that share in your experience. They are out there. Don't do this alone, right?
You can't do it alone. And I'll just say it. It's a crazy time right now. It's an amazing time, but there's so much hypnosis out there that, like, for me personally, I'm so blessed that I've had people around me that know me, that want to lift me up, that are on the same mission and journey, because they hold me accountable when when I go to sleep, Right. And there's so many things out there that'll put you to sleep, whether it's just drifting on Facebook, whatever reels. You can get lost, and all of a sudden you're just brainwashed into this whole other low frequency energy, and then who knows where that takes you. And so to have people that can hold you accountable has really been so helpful to me, because this winter, I love the sun, which is why I'm so excited to go to Maui. Sometimes in the winter, I just slow down and I just want to be like lazy, and I started getting caught up in things, but having the community, it's really helped me,
So that's what I wanted to talk about. It feels like as we're shifting, there are certain places that have certain vortexes of energy, which is what you and I have been focusing on as we start planning future events. Yeah. There are certain locations on the earth that
Oh
have
yeah.
unique vortexes of energy that carry a different energy. They're like
Yeah.
portals that you
Yeah.
enter into.
Hmm.
And so in particular, we've been searching out and going to places. I
Hmm.
went to Hawaii for New Year's to sort of explore and really set this out. And I felt I was completely shifted in energy just by being there. I'm reminded of a book. Yeah, I read a book on my channel called The Secret Power of Pyramids.
Yeah.
And in that book, U.S. Anderson, who wrote Three Magic Words, amazing writer, he goes around to these different energy vortexes, and he shares a big part of the book going to Maui.
Yeah.
Because he says it's the Lemurians, right? That like that some people say that there was an ancient secret culture back in the day that had awakened before. That some people say that the culture there, the religion and spirituality there, it's unique. And when you go there, because I know I'm asking you because you went to school there in Maui, right?
Yeah, I actually went to school on the Big Island, but I did a community service project. I got to pick where I wanted to go for a community service project. I chose to go to Maui for a few months. And when I went out to Maui, I got to study under this native Hawaiian named Vene. He was this jacked up Hawaiian who every day he'd wake us up and we'd look at the sun and we'd go, "Aku, mau, mau." We'd call out the spirits of, the earth. And honestly, I was so disconnected. This is 20 years ago, 15 years ago. But it opened my eyes. There was something about what he was doing that was magic that opened me up to the spirit. It like reconnected me to what I had lost, Like as a child, I was so free, but somewhere I got lost. When I went to Hawaii, because of what he was doing, I was reminded of the magic. And he really is responsible for my spiritual awakening. And one of the things that's just, I know, so synchronistic, when we were calling around to different places to see where we wanted to go, I called the Maui Westin and I was just getting a quote, getting a price, and I just felt this urge. I'm getting goosebumps right now. I was like, I just feel called to say, hey, like my guy Vene, have you ever heard of him? He like taught me when I was in Hawaii, and the guy said, I hate to break this to you. He was my spiritual mentor too, and he passed away yesterday.
Yesterday, time you were talking to him.
Yeah, and I was like, what
Wow.
are the chances? And I hadn't talked to anyone in Hawaii in 10 years. It'd been so long, and so it obviously that was really sad, but it made me feel like the spirit of Vene was with me. And then I had this whole deep meditation the next day where I was sitting in meditation and I asked for the spirit of Vene to come through my meditation. And all of a sudden I heard Ho'oponopono. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And I saw Vene standing over me. And so he's going to be with us.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to be out there. It's a special place, man. The smells, the energy, it's so alive, it's so rich. It is a vortex, I'll tell you that.
It's a vortex. And the Maui Westin in particular, there's some great places to stay.
Yeah.
But I've gone and stayed at this hotel. I told you that right at first because it's on the beach.
Yeah.
It's on Anapali right there. So when you get done with our sessions, you can go right down and walk along the beach, and you can walk down to like a bunch of really cool restaurants. It's right next to the market. It's like the perfect location. And I remember this is about 15 years ago myself. Maybe we were on the island at the same time. When I went and stayed at the Maui Westin, I was like, I had this vision like someday, if I do a live event, I want to do it here. I want to do it in this place. When you walk in, there's like this waterfall. It's open. It's just like there's something unique about Maui. It has this energy, this
culture. The culture is so rich.
There. It's this vibe. Everybody's more relaxed. I mean, I was on the Big Island, and it's totally different. It's not, I was in Honolulu, and it's not the same. It's not the same.
No, Maui's where it's at.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm excited because what we've set up is a 4-day event. We've been doing 3-day events. We've added an extra day so that we can really make this incredibly immersive. So that we're going to connect to the future self on the second day. We're going to do a quantum heart meditation. It's going to allow us to do a little bit more to really lock in the shift that we've been designing with these events. I think this is going to be our best event that we've ever put on. And I, there's tickets available. I know that as soon as we really start marketing this, that the tickets are going to sell. So right now we have a limited number of rooms available, and people can get a ticket now. If you purchase ticket, you're taken to a page, and we booked and locked in 50 rooms. And right now I think that that's already gone down. So if you want to get a discount, we got some really good prices on the rooms as well, right?
Yeah. I'm just sitting here thinking about my time on Maui and, the culture of the people. And one of the things that was so cool, the community service project that I got to do was the Native Hawaiians actually used to line up from like the mountains, and they would hand like boulders one by one all the way down to the ocean, and they would create these rock walls. So my part of the community, as a community service project, I created this rock wall with Vene, and they would create the rock walls in a way where the fish would come in. They'd put these nettings in between the rock walls that they created where the fish would come in, but then they couldn't leave. And just like the brilliance, the horticulture, there's something special that just allowed the Hawaiians to have such strength from natural processes that we're going to be tapping into. The mana, the life force.
Did you watch the show on Apple TV with Jason Momoa? Did you watch I'm forgetting the name of it. It was about the history of the islands and how they battled with each other. Right?
No, I went deep into the studies because when I was out there, I was in my environmental science program, and so I really dove into all that and tried to pay as much respect to the history, because there's a lot of tough stuff about the history of Hawaii for sure.
So yeah, the show is called Chief of War. And so you see how the islands were, and more importantly, you see the spirituality. And there's this battle scene in the final episode where they're on this volcano. And the coolest thing is, before they would go to war, they would have a spiritual battle where they would start doing these chants, and it was like they were all like, before it was like the spiritual battle begins, and then they start doing this where they're calling upon the forces at the beginning, and dude, it's one of the most incredible battle scenes because you see how spiritual they are from the beginning, the way they treated the island. It's imbued with this sort of spirituality.
Magic. There's legit magic. Yes. So the thing that I was saying about Vene, when we were basically out on these kayaks, he had us, like, he was teaching us like kayaking, some of the culture, and my friend Ryan said, hey, do you have any calls that could bring out the nature of the island? And that's when he started going, aku mau mau, aku hulu hulu, and he had us all repeating it. Right. And out of nowhere, this massive sea turtle just came up, but like really? and started swimming with us, and it was. And then out of nowhere, we saw these huge whales in the distance, and it was just like, all right, there is some serious magic to this place.
Amazing. No, I mean, every time.
And Haleakala too. Haleakala.
Right, the volcano right there, right?
Yeah. This volcano. You go to the top of the volcano, and it's like you're above the clouds, so you're looking out at the ocean, and it's just so surreal. So anybody coming, I would recommend definitely plan to stay a few extra days.
That's our plan. We're planning on staying a few extra days, and we're going to be like exploring the island, and we're gonna maybe schedule it so that we start a little earlier so people have more time to sort of hang out on the island, and each day is going to be really special. I've never been more excited. This is going to be
what are we actually doing? I think we need to talk about the actual, like, what
we're calling it the ultimate shift. And so we're setting this up so that we're doing some energy work at the beginning, connecting to the higher self and doing quantum jumping. Then we're connecting to the future self on the second day. Mm-hmm. We're starting on a Thursday, and then Friday we do a connection to the future self. We do a full integration with the future self and understanding on Saturday, where we have a celebration on Saturday night with karaoke. It's going to be amazing. And then on the final day, we do a full new Earth shift. And so I think the setup, what I wanted to do since we've been doing these shifts is do a full energetic reworking in the very beginning, to set up so when we're quantum jumping, there's extra energies. What we experienced when we did the first event is the bliss body meditation when we did that, and so I really want to work with that and create it so we can reset the energetic template of the person that's doing the shift. So when they connect to the future self, that it's like detoxified, it's connected. And we're also doing the addition to what we've done before. We're doing a quantum heart meditation. So we're doing a heart coherence on steroids, where we connect with the heart, and then in that situation we connect to the quantum realm. Because what I'm learning is what we've learned to do with this event, which I can't set up in a normal a single video session, is we enter into the quantum realm and we connect you to your highest timeline through your highest self. You get to envision a life that is the greatest life you could imagine, and it covers every single base. You find the perfect love, you find massive wealth, you find opportunities for happiness and joy, authentic connections with people you love, you find true freedom.
Yeah.
And that's been my goal, is to find a way to create transformation. And so it's not just quantum jumping into the reality that you want and walking away with a single meditation. We're setting it up so we reset your energetic template. We awaken your energy centers. So each of them are a reset. Then we do the quantum jump energetically. And then we do a shift into the future self on the second day. And so then we enter into the quantum heart. So we're locking in an energetic shift that's so immersive that when you walk away, there's no way that you can go back. You're set on with so much momentum when you walk away from this shift that it's like you're full barrel. There's nothing you can do. You're going at 100 miles an hour on that, and nothing's going to stop you. The 3-day events we do are great, but this gives us an opportunity to really push you so that by the time you're headed home, that there's nothing that's going to stop you. You're going 100 miles per hour towards that reality. And so it gives us eventually we're going to be able to do like 6 or 7 days where we can keep it going.
Dude, I don't know if I can handle that. I mean, just being honest, I'm going to say a warning right now to anybody listening. It's not for everybody. It's literally not. It's literally for people who are ready for massive shifts.
Yeah.
And after the last event, my life has shifted massively. Like, I have a whole new part of my business that I imagined during your meditation that now exists. Right?
That's true.
All these wild things started happening to me. I was out in Sedona with some wizard who was reworking my brain. Like, everything after that I needed that I wanted to happen, that I imagined happening in our last retreat, happened. And it's powerful stuff. So it's not for everybody.
I have been called upon by beings I'm still getting a full understanding of, that I've been connecting with for years.
Tell us a little bit about it. I would love to know. Give us a secret sauce. Who are you talking to in there?
When I do an episode, it's not. I come in here and I start to connect. Sometimes I don't even know what's going to happen, and then it's like I'm channeling. Mm-hmm. But I'm working with them. It's like this playground in my mind, and so I'm guided to do these activations and meditations on a regular basis.
Multiple beings are guiding you.
Absolutely, it is a group of beings. There's no doubt. First, it was my higher self, and then my higher self's connected me to multiple beings, and they don't care to give me names. They'll joke around and give me a name, but obviously it's not. They don't even have the individualized personalities. I think people know what I'm talking about.
I do know what you're talking about. Yeah,
it's a lot of times these channeled entities, when they do give a name, it's a joke. Like
right.
They're all a collective group.
It's to appease the human.
Yeah. You guys, okay? Here's a name. Right. So when I started getting called a couple of years ago, you need to take this to the next level, and that requires you being in a room with people and doing these meditations. And I resisted it. I got comfortable in my home. It was easy for me to sit and record my episode and go watch TV. And I'm sort of hermit at heart, but they kept on pushing me. And eventually you came in and said, Brian, we got to do this. You inspired me. And so we did an event in Maine, and then we did the event in Los Angeles. And then I knew, like, I have to do this. And
wasn't that the most amazing weekend ever?
It was the most amazing weekend. And so when we were there, something came through me. You saw it. And
Yeah.
it
Oh
was
yeah.
not me
Oof.
talking. There's something else happening,
Oof. I'm feeling it. Yeah, yeah. I'm getting
especially
goosebumps.
when we're doing the meditations. We did
Yeah.
when we did the bliss body meditation, the whole we had an earthquake.
Yeah.
And when I was, and people were feeling like beings were there to heal, something is happening,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
want, and it's, and it, I so want to experience it again. And the way it's facilitated is when I come together with a large group of people that are of a similar vibration,
Mm.
and suddenly these beings are like, "We're going to help you shift." I think I'm called to do this because I feel like we talked about at the beginning. We're going through this massive shift right now.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, what do I do next? A
Hmm.
lot of people are called on, like, I have a purpose. Like, a lot of people are waking up to, I have a purpose, but how do I do that? And
Right.
so
Right.
that's what's been given to me is that I'm a facilitator. I'm a
Yeah.
catalyst for people to find their purpose. And what's
Mm.
happening, it's like when they go home, it's like we've planted a seed and they're going and waking up themselves to other people's future self. And then those people are waking up. And so when I really see the effects of this, it's like, ultimately we're inviting people that are at a super high vibration. People are coming to Brian Scott. They're not just people casually that's just meditating.
Yeah.
These are people on a different level. All the people in that room are masters, they're gurus, they're teachers. We had so many people that are also putting on events of their own. This is like an advanced workshop of advanced teachers. And that seems to be the kind of people I'm attracting. That's what comes to my group. And so when we're sending them out, it's not just that they're experiencing their greatest timeline, but they're set up to awaken other people when they go out. And these beings are working through me. They're guiding me on the kind of meditations that we're doing. And so they want me to do these longer sessions because it allows them to work even more. And so I really can't wait to share the essence of that and to hear people's stories. As you know, we have some testimonials now that we can share where people can talk about their experience from that event.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that what it's not like I'm channeling, it's like I'm collaborating with these entities, and I have an opportunity in this realm, and they're working with me, guiding me, instructing me. That's the best way I can explain. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. And from my perspective, what I would say is like everyone knows, you do a group meditation, even if it's in your local town with just somebody
Yeah.
that has guided a meditation once in their life. That experience is so much better and so much more powerful in that energy. Now, your meditations, if anybody's listening and you've done Brian's large sums of money, if you've done his bliss brain, any of his pineal gland, any of his heart coherence, if you've done any of these meditations that are like if you're listening and you've done his meditations, you know how powerful they are. Everybody listening is a Brian Scott fan and they're here because they've done the meditations. There's no words to describe what these feel like when you do them in person. Every meditation, at the end of it, I was like, that was the best meditation of my life. Then we were on to the next one. That was the best meditation of my life. So much power, so much love, so much bliss. And then the whole room is together at the end of these meditations and we're all so euphoric. And then your music comes on that's just like anchors it into this whole other level. It's enchanting. It's so sacred. It's like a returning of family members of the greatest magnitude, the biggest celebration that's ever existed.
So many people are connecting to each other, that networking with each other. And it's not just about this event. We're talking about this event because that's what we're talking about. But I'm calling upon people. There's people out there that are in a similar situation as me, that are teachers, that are writers. Put on an event and meet with people locally if you can. And I'm calling upon you. You may not be aware of the power and influence that you can have. The next level of this shift is us coming together in these groups. And as we do it more and more, we start to connect more and more, and we create a shift. Right now, if you're going on the news and it just seems like, all the elites you're coming out, and we're learning the truth about how terrible the world can seem, and these billionaires and the terrible things that they're doing in the world. And, don't get distracted by all that. We always knew that was going on. We always knew that the world can be and seem like a terrible place. Yeah. And you can get, they want us to feel hopeless. They want us to get caught up in the news and the pendulums that are going on. But if you're out there, I call upon you, forget about all that. Don't get caught up in your doom scroll. How can you bring people together and connect? Maybe you can do it online and host Zoom sessions. Maybe you can do it by starting a community up. Maybe you can do it.
You said, if you're out there, I call upon you.
Okay, yeah. So for people editing, this is sorry. So if you're out there, I call upon you to come together, to start a group, to start a community, and come together on Zoom sessions if you can. If you can start a Reddit board, start a Facebook group, but get people to come together. This is the place where you can bring your expertise. It's not just about you. It's about us together. When we come together as a group energy, we create a new form of individualized experience. And that's what we're moving toward, is this group coherence. And I have a feeling in my lifetime, and I think technology is going to help us, is that we're moving towards a collective shift where 40% of us come together and we're like one being. Okay? That's what we're talking about. People get caught up on AI. And I'm excited as hell about AI, because AI is just an expression of our own consciousness. And it's a way for us to access this universal knowledge that's always been available to us. This technology has been within us all along. And it's just an outright expression, something that our consciousness created to help us as a reflection of what's actually happening in the shift, right?
Yeah.
And there's going to be a point where we're able to access the Akashic, and it's literally no different than the AI that we're connecting on our phones and computers. So this group coherence that is facilitated by us coming together, it's in the law of one material. They talk about the social memory complex, but they are emphasizing that it's when groups of people come together. And if you look at the forces of the world, they're trying to separate us, that isolate us, to keep us in our own, by ourselves, not connecting. They want us to interact with fake bots and fake people out there. Then I'm saying, hey, maybe you enjoy that, but come back to us. Come back to us. You might be finding substances or experiences where it's distracting you and it's taking you away, but you're on the cusp of it. And I'm talking to every single person. It doesn't matter what you've done in the past. It doesn't matter what you're doing right now. You're still a part of this. You still deserve to be a part of it. I know that you might feel guilt and shame as you start to become aware of what you've done. So what? Everybody has skeletons in their closet. I have skeletons in my closet. We're moving beyond that. It's a universal forgiveness. It doesn't matter what you've done. If you come to us and join with us as a group, and so I invite everybody, it doesn't matter what you've done in the past. If you come to us, you can reset everything. You can start over. You can have everything that you want. And you don't have to feel guilt for your desires and goals. You're here to create a world that's amazing, where you're prosperous, where you're happy, where you're excited, where everything brings you up instead of brings you down. It's easy to get caught up because they want us to get distracted. There are forces that want us to become distracted by what's going on in the world. But you and I, that's our mission now, is that we can bring these people together in these events.
Yeah, and it was making me think of what we were talking about before we came on live. Like a lot of our friends, they'll go on these ayahuasca trips, or they'll go on these mushroom ceremonies. Mm-hmm. And what I've noticed and observed is a lot of them just feel like they need to keep going on them. And it's just right. Almost like it doesn't really seem to settle. And this is, in my opinion, way more powerful than any of those types of things. But you're sober. You're completely you, working with your higher self, integrating that into you permanently.
We're talking about two addicts talking to each other, right?
Right.
Two addicts. We've both been on. You can't bullshit a bullshitter. We know everything, right? We see it. We've been through it. We are the ones. Yeah. I fully admit it. And here's the thing that I'm seeing, exactly like you said. If you can go do shrooms, you can do ayahuasca. You're dipping your toes in the pool, but you're not swimming.
I've seen so many of those people fall off. Like everybody in the community that I grew up in, it was like, oh, I'm going to do mushroom ceremonies every week. They all fell off. Everybody that was going to do the ayahuasca ceremonies every week, they all fell off, you know? And I'm not knocking on it. I'm not, because I do think it serves a purpose.
Yes.
But this is different.
It brings your, at the beginning, because your energy is down here, vibration's down here.
Right, right.
It brings your vibration up here, right? But then it stays there. So what we're offering is an ayahuasca DMT experience. That's what we're releasing. When we do the pineal gland and the breathing exercises that we do and the energy work that we're doing, people are having legitimate DMT type experiences. You can experience it without any drugs. And so when you walk away from this, you're swimming. You're not dipping your toe in the pool. And all those things, all those experiences do is tell you it's possible.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take you there. Go and read the stories about the big time yogis. What I love reading. I'm a huge fan of Ram Dass, right?
Yeah.
And Ram Dass would talk about.
He was a Maui guy.
He was a Maui guy from Maui because he went where the energy was, right?
Yeah.
And he would talk about meeting his master and giving his master LSD and
Neem Karoli Baba.
Right. And he, like, nothing would happen. He's like, oh, we've had this. It doesn't even matter. It's not really going to take you where you think it is. You know what I mean? It's he would joke around because Ram Dass would like big dose him.
Right.
Nothing. And this is coming from somebody. I've tripped the trip.
Yeah,
I've done the substances, and I've had those experiences that you've had, and all those are telling you is that this realm is out there and it's possible, but it's not going to take you on the shift that you think it is. Imagine being able to feel that bliss, to feel those experiences, to have those amazing experiences without being dependent on any substance.
You did it. You did it yourself. You did it. Like when you do the meditation, you did it. There was nothing you had to take. You actually did it.
No. And so, and in particular, we have those experiences in the group setting because other people are bringing their energy. I think there's secret spies showing up at these events that are there just to carry energy. I am convinced. We have people that are super high level beings that just embody and show up at these events, sitting in the background.
It gives me goosebumps.
There's like this vortex and they're just there to carry the energy, and they're just like not talking to people. I've had this happen with Dr. Joe and other experiences. I'm convinced that these people just show up. They're like behind the scenes in the background, and they're just there to prop everybody up. They have an inner awareness that just because of their presence, they're such high density beings, they bring everybody else up, right? And so that's what, in particular, if you want to have those amazing spiritual experiences, you don't need to take any substance. Come to one of our events.
Yeah.
And that's the shift we're talking about.
I had one of the most psychedelic experiences of my life at your event, and it was when we started and we were doing the pineal gland. You just had us, it's like the in breath that everyone's used to doing in pineal gland breathing, but you had us keep going through it, and you had us keep going through it. And if I were alone, I would have stopped. I would have gave up. But because I was in a group, everybody, you were like, again.
Exactly.
And we did it. Again. And we did it. And we went further. And then I was like, this has got to be it. And we kept going. And I looked around. I was like, are you guys going to quit? And we kept going. And then as the fractals were playing on the screen, I realized I was just tripping balls, man.
Yeah.
I couldn't see the person in front of me. I couldn't see my feet. I was grabbing onto chairs like, what's happening? And then for the rest of the week, my pineal gland my whole pineal gland was just bursted wide open. It was amazing.
I have been obsessed with the psychedelic experience since I did acid when I was 19 years old. Yeah. And I've, read every book that you can, everything about the history of it, and wanted to, I've been there. I wanted to go, hey, can I do this again? Can I have this experience again? And I started to experience these psychedelic experiences through breath work and meditation, if done properly. And you've had a taste of it for people that have never been to the event.
Yeah.
You've had a taste of it. You with maybe one of my meditations, but there's no way that I can fully implement it with you unless you do the full experience. It's the full experience. And for the people that have been to the event already, and if you feel like, well, I've already done that, trust me when I tell you, it layers on. If you know what happened when we went to Maine and then we went to LA. Each time that we do the event, it expands. Can you imagine what's going to happen? Right now, we're getting ready for Newark, and we have an event in Newark. Can you imagine by the time we do Maui, and each time I do it, that, I feel like through the collaboration I'm getting, that I'm able to refine and elevate these experiences. So by the time we're doing Maui, that, because I feel like there's an exponential expansion in my understanding of how to utilize the group energies in the meditation. And it's like when I've had a trainer before when you go to the gym, right?
Yeah,
Like kind of
yeah.
like what you said. Like, you get to collapse and I was like, I don't want to do anymore. It's like, no, you're going to do 5 more.
Again.
And so that's what we're doing is we have somebody that's gently guiding you
Yeah.
along the process when you have everybody there supportive of you. And also, it's not just about the shift, but that's part of it. It is about your own internal experience and what you experience. I'm going to share my story. Part of this shift that we're experiencing is coming into our own power to create our reality. Something I don't hear some spirit. It's either we're highly spiritual or we're manifesting, but there's like this gap between the
Yeah.
two. And so to me, there's no gap. And part of this is that you're going to shift into this new earth and you're going to get everything that you want. And that's okay.
Yeah.
That you're going to have the ability. We're going to talk about money, which is for some people, it's hard to deal with. We're going to talk about love, romantic love. You're going to get lucky. You're going to find that person that you love.
It happened there.
If you're suffering, you're going to heal. And I want to bring an environment where people truly, I can have the house of my dreams. I can drive the car of my dreams. I can have the love of my dreams. I can travel anywhere I want. I can have the life that I want. And I'm coming from a place where I lost everything. I had nothing, lost the love of my life. I lost everything. I was living, the only money I had was what was available on my credit cards. You know what I mean? That was it. And I, was contemplating, how I could end my life or shorten it. I'd given up and I felt like there was no hope for me in my life.
Yeah.
And I tried to escape by drinking it so much so that I could forget. And then I'd wake up and it was pure pain. And it was just like, I had a choice where I could give up or the only thing I could do. How could I utilize my mind to change my reality? And I have been through this journey. And so if anybody out there suffering, I know because people will say, there are people listening to this that are sitting in their car because that's their home. I know that there are people living in this that feel like that there is no tomorrow, that there is no hope, that there's no way they can escape from their situation. Those same people are the spiritual leaders of tomorrow. Those same people, if you can find a way to come to one of these events, then we can bring you to where you want to be because anything is possible once you access these energies. Anything is possible, right?
Yeah, yeah. And one of the things that I heard a lot of people at the last event say was like, I've been trying to do this work for a while, but there's no one really in my area that does this type of work. If you come and join this event, it's like just getting beamed up, and you'll go back so like with an entirely different charge. And you'll also have a community that can help sustain you there. Like so many of the people at our event still communicate with each other, you could form lifelong friendships. There were people that formed relationships too. So a couple people got lucky at the event.
Yeah. People are getting lucky at these events. This is a great place to meet people. I mean, what's wrong with that? It's a great place because everybody is so beautiful. Everybody's so amazing.
You
know what I mean?
People.
It's incredible. You know what I mean? Like when you're in that environment, it's just like no other. There's no other place. You're home. Yeah. And so we are going to continue holding these events. And that's why we're at the forefront of seeing this shift because we're seeing it. We also have school groups. You're on school now. I'm on school.
Yeah, it's going amazing.
And we're seeing in the collaborations that we have on school, the kind of shifts that are happening. And so that's why it's our calling that you and I are together on this. We're trying to figure out a way to facilitate this shift through these group interactions on a global scale.
Yeah, it's happening. It's happening. It's
right.
Beyond my wildest dreams. People are coming together to really support the energetic infrastructure to make this happen.
And so right now, I mean, let's give you some advance because maybe you can't make it to Hawaii. We're just about to host our Newark event at the time that we're recording this. I don't know when.
If you're available, this weekend or February, what is it, 27th through
March 1st.
March 1st. If you're available, come join us in Newark. We're doing the same thing. A little warm up.
But then after that, we have the event in Hawaii on May 14th through the 17th.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be in Anaheim in July. This is their first time announcing that. Do you remember the exact? It's July
Oh, I
14th.
can look.
All right.
Yeah.
And,
Go
and then
ahead.
you got it.
No, no, go ahead. It's going to take me a
And
minute.
then after that, we're going to be in Sedona. That's in
Yeah.
November.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be in Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic. We're going to be in Cancun, and we're just getting started. And so, people, if you have locations that you want us to come to, we want to speed these up and do them more often. But right now, we're trying to facilitate this, and my brother Kyle's helping me out, and we're going to continue hosting those events. And so,
July 23rd in Anaheim. Is the
July
next
23rd
one.
in Anaheim, and
Yeah.
we have a great location, and I just signed for Sedona,
Sedona. Yeah.
and so that's going to be amazing. I'm so excited for each of those events. They're going to get special, and we're going to increasingly do this. And I would love for people to share in the comments what you're experiencing in terms of the shift. What are you experiencing in your consciousness? Are you noticing the world around you is more responsive to your thoughts? The thing I'm noticing is that, if I'm having thoughts, it's happening right away. You're noticing I live in a new property. I was like a week before I moved. I was I had remember Yerowan and I had some people that came to my house. We're sitting around by the fire, and I was like, I fear moving. I really don't want to move. That could be, boom, like a couple days later, like I had to move. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
right now, what people are noticing is you have a thought, you have a worry, you have a concern, you have a fear. It's manifesting. So this is a survival skill that we're also teaching, because the environment, the energy that we're in, it's so responsive.
It
You want to
is.
be in the flow. I was able to deal with this because I was able to adapt quickly, and immediately you're going to have things come up. A part of
Yeah.
this is you need to have those abilities and skills to deal with, because we're dealing with massive change on a regular basis. It can seem like chaos for people that have not tuned into their creative power, right?
Yeah, yeah, no, I'm feeling it. Everything's more intense, but it's definitely made for our evolution. And like I said, like I realized over the last year that there's some energies, there's some, as much as there's these spiritual vortex to raise us up, there's some dark ones out there too that can take you. We've talked about some of our friends being lost to addiction right now.
Yeah.
And so for me, I need this. I need to surround myself with people that can keep me aware of the good energy and just keep me in this high consciousness state, so that when I go back home from these events, I'm fully just aware of what's good for me and what's bad for me, because there are so many things that are designed to just take us down a bad place.
I'm going to help through what I've experienced, sharing what I've gone through, and give you practical skills. This is not just woo. This is
Yeah.
practical skills on how to deal with massive changes that are happening in the world. We're going to discuss what's happening in the world and how we deal with it. We're going to have discussions of, AI is changing things. How are we going to deal with that? You start reading about on the news, and you can see that we're about to face a period of epic change in the world, right? And we're ready for it. I'm ready for it. I've never been more excited. I'm not afraid of these changes.
Let's
It
go.
it can feel like, when you're looking at this stuff, that it's scary. Like it feels like the world's going to end. Like there's going to be terrible things happening. And that might be true. But if you're tuned into this energy, it doesn't matter, because within our bubble of reality, a new earth is forming, and everything's going to be working to your advantage. You're going to, while it's all happening, living in your dream home, having that perfect job, finding the income that you need, feeling healed and loved, and starting and forming communities that feel authentic, where you're meeting people that genuinely are your friends, where we're connecting together. This is what you need. Not all the negative news that you see, not the Epstein list and all the stuff that's happening, right?
So crazy.
Right? It's that stuff's always been around for thousands and thousands of years. There's nothing new under the sun. This is what's new, is that right now, as I've discussed with you, in our environment every day, there's a little bit more of this unique fourth density light that's entering into our environment, and it's much more responsive to our thoughts. And we're seeing a result of our thoughts becoming things faster and faster and faster. And so as a result, we see chaos in the world because we're starting to see the truth of what's happening. What we're seeing, it feels like everything's going to hell. Part of that is the lashings of the dying dragon. You know, it's gonna kick around before it. But part of that is what we're seeing is the truth come out. We're seeing the stuff that's been behind the scenes all this time come out. And so don't get caught up in the wars and the conflicts and the terrible things that are happening around us, because that's just proof of the shift. That's what's proof of the shift. Yes, we have terrible things happening all around us, and that is showing us what our light is transforming. And so it's urgent for us to come together, because when we go home, we can change the world and we can make it better. We can heal. We can help those people that are struggling. It's not some government organization or corporation. It's us. It's powerful, unique, godlike beings awakening to our power, going back into our communities and helping others experience the shift that we're experiencing. That's what we can do right now. That's what I'm inviting you to join with. That's why we're doing this.
Let's go. It's time, baby.
It's time. So check the links out in the description where you can find the link to the Maui event, to the Newark event. Please contact us if you have questions about it. We want to see you there. And if it's not about the event, we're mentioning the event because that's important to us. That's a part of it. Host your own event. Tell me about it. Share it. Let us promote your event. Start your own community. Just meet with people in the park. Get together. Let's get together, because the next step in our evolution of consciousness is us coming together. It doesn't matter if you're the smartest person in the world and you have the greatest healing power. It all magnifies and doubles and comes if we can come together. And so that's my call for you. We're experiencing the shift and we can do it together. So go out and do it. And if you can, come and visit with us. But there's other places, whatever you feel called to do, get outside of your apartment or room and come and join the New Earth shift. That's what I'm calling on.
Let's go.
Let's go. So tell me how people can join your school group.
Yeah. So basically, one of the things that came to me while I was at your event was that I wanted to sit in heart coherence with people more regularly. And so I created a school where on every Monday, we as a community come together and we do a heart coherence meditation. Either I will guide it or somebody from the community will guide it. So we keep it open. Wednesday, we do a different embodiment technique. Either I'll guide it or somebody from the community will guide it. Friday, we have somebody different from the group share something that they think will promote growth in the group. And that can be anything. It can be their story. It can be a technique. After we do heart coherence. And then we have special events. Daryl Anka comes every single month. Lee Harris, all these people come. And the thing that's cool about it is the interviews are collaborative. So everybody submits the questions ahead of time, and I ask everybody's questions while you're there watching it live on Zoom. It's pretty cool.
Gotta love it.
Fun.
So school.com/Heart Coherence Collaborative?
Yeah, I'll put a link below. It's free 7-day trial if you're listening.
All right. So, we're both in those communities, and we're working together and hosting.
What's going on with your school?
School.com/Reality Revolution. We're doing the same stuff. We have group coaching and masterminds and networking and exclusive content and training modules. And
so cool.
And so, beyond it, you and I have been inspired to do this. I know people are listening. You should do that.
Yeah.
Write your book, start your podcast, start your coaching. You have a role to play. And that's the ultimate thing is we're here. It's not just about us, and there's more than enough to go around. We want you to be a part of this. We want to hear your stories. We want to hear your teachings. We want to learn from you and share with your energy. We want to grow with you. And I'm calling upon, there's somebody out there that's on the brink and they're like, I don't know. Do it. That's
Do
what I'm
it.
telling you is do it and let us know about it. As a part of this community, we're all a family and we want you to be successful. Come to my event. Tell me about what you're trying to do. Let me figure out a way to help build up your group, to build up your message, to build up your purpose, whatever it is that you want to start. If it's a business you want to start, I want to help you do it. That's what ultimately this is about, is being of service to each other. And so that's the great thing about this shift. We're coming together. It's a group that we're working together. And it's amazing that we have this win-win environment where we can both start a group and we can both thrive. Others can do it. We can come together. That's the shift we're talking about. So everybody check out the links in the description, and it's always good to talk to you, Kyle. We'll talk again soon, brother.
Love you,
Thanks for
brother.
staying with us this whole time. And as always, welcome to the reality revolution.